Yo guys, I have my 48-hour stream tomorrow, and also level 75 for Ark Raiders has been confirmed. I'm not here to waste your time. This is the best skill trees, weapons, and everything you need to progress within the game. I hope you all enjoy. Let's get straight into it with the first skill that you're going to be wanting to unlock. Wait, I need to toggle something first. There we go, there we go. Let me get this too. Boom. Okay, now we're really working with it. Quickly going off of my settings, I had everything on epic and I was still getting like 240 frames. I did change my shoulder swap key to a mouse keybind, and that's all I did. Everything else is default. If bushes still don't render for those settings, I will be playing on that. For my crosshair, all I did was go to the crosshair section and change it to a circle and dot and make it so whenever I'm in cover, the crosshair just stays static. There's a very obvious option for that. Sorry I couldn't get screenshots for you, but let's get into the main section of the video. I had a really good look through the skill tree, and as many of you know, if you look at the prior content on my channel, I'm very used to PvP and guides and etc. I do mostly everything. So let's get right into it with your first point into Nimble Climber, into Marathon Runner, into Youthful Lungs. You've probably seen many other people say the same thing. They're just very broken perks. They increase your max stamina and make it so moving around costs less stamina. Stamina is how you will stay alive in this game. If you also want to stay alive, you want Agile Croucher into Revitalizing Squat into in-round crafting. In-round crafting just makes it so you can craft bandages, shield rechargers, and etc. and leads to the best perk in the game, Good as New. Good as New is insanely strong with the new nerfs to Calming Stroll. If you ever get blue or purple shields within this time frame, you want to max out use to the weight instantaneously. I will be doing this personally as I believe it is one of the most broken passives in the game. Higher tier shields really slow you down. Then you want to put 1 point into Gentle Pressure to get Proficient Prior. If you are looking to solo the Harvester, or in general, putting 3 to 5 points into this is very good. It allows you to solo the Harvester very easily. I personally will be only putting in 3 to maximize the amount of skill points I need to get to loaded arms later. I'll be putting 1 point into Blastborn and fully maxing out Fight or Flight. When you're hurt in combat, regain a fixed amount of stamina. It has a cooldown between uses. As when you're in combat with Fight or Flight from drones or players, it'll just give you a stamina boost just in case to dodge that one extra shot or two. At this point, you have a few options. You can either keep going conditioning to get a little extra, breaching an object generates resources, or loaded arms as well. These are both 1 skill point. I will be unlocking them eventually, so I'm just going to get them right now. However, you could also go Revitalizing Squat to get the perk Good as New. Revitalizing Squat just increases your stamina regeneration while crouched. You want to put 5 points into that and 4 into Agile Croucher. They stack very well together. With Looter's Instincts, when searching a container, loot is revealed faster. This is one of the best perks in the game in my opinion, as it saves you a lot of time and leaves you immobile when you're looting, of course. Good as New, you want to get this immediately. It can be triggered with fall damage or any sort of damage, just increases your stamina regen. Eventually, you really want to put 4 points into Slip and Slide. You can slide further and faster, which allows you to go down most surfaces within the game and get you into cover quicker, which will get you carry the momentum. After a sprint dodge roll, sprinting does not consume stamina for a short time. This is insane as it leads into effortless roll. Dodge rolls cost less stamina. Fully max Heroic Leap, you can sprint dodge roll further if you've played the division like I have, and you know, it's why I've learned not to trust people. You can fully max this out as well. These are 2 insta maxes in my opinion, and then I'm never going to touch the mobility tree after this. This is everything I'm going to be putting in the mobility tree. You could look into Nimble Climber if you like, but that completes the mobility and conditioning tree for me. At this point, you want to put 1 point into Silent Scavenger. You make less noise when looting to get Suffer in Silence, which is Iron Will from Dead by Daylight. This is why people think I have wall hacks, because I used to play Dead by Daylight and I was a killer man, so people think I was, you know, a cheater. And then Broad Shoulders increases the maximum weight you can carry. This is an insta max as well. At this point, you have spent 49 plus 18, I don't even know. Wow. 49 plus 18 is 67. Oh my god. We've already spent 67 skill points, so you only have about 8 skill points left. We have about 8 skill points left. If you want security lockers, you can take points out of Slip and Slide, or you don't have to fully max Slip and Slide if you want to get security lockers. And you can instead put it into Stubborn Mule, Traveling Tinkerer, and 3 Deep Breaths. Stubborn Mule, your stamina regeneration is less affected by being over encumbered. 3 Deep Breaths, after an ability drains your stamina, you can recover more quickly. I really like this perk and think it's insanely good, so I would throw in a few points. You can also lose some points on fight or flight early if you like, so you'll have enough for the survival tree later. You can also lose a point or two in dodge roll, an effortless roll, I mean, if you'd like, and then that'll allow you to get security lockers later. But yeah, hopefully that covers my ideas on the skill tree, and yeah. I don't think I'll be getting security lockers personally, as I want to go a more PvP oriented build and PvE killer build rather than security lockers. I think that wraps up most of the skill tree. Hopefully that made sense with my reasoning and why. If you're enjoying my content, liking and hyping the video really helps me stand out from larger channels. A sub isn't needed, but I have very educational content on the way. Let's get straight into weapons and progression items very quickly. I'm going to try and make this as not as confusing as possible. I'm going to go over loadouts from the early game, mid game, and late game and the best combos for them, and I'll hit more on the attachments after. I'll briefly touch on them with some of the weapons though. The kettle is the best level 1 weapon. If you can get a compensator on it, it makes it even better. It doesn't really matter though. I can kill 3 people in a single clip. Just beware, it is semi-automatic. As soon as you can afford it, you want to go to a Stitcher Pharaoh. The Stitcher Pharaoh is genuinely the best combo in the game. You know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know I've been using it in every single video even since Tech Test 2. The Pharaoh is the best scaling upgrading weapon besides the Rattler. The Pharaoh reload speed is increased on the upgrade, making this the best weapon for soloing high tier Ark and poking enemy players. I do expect a nerf on release to this weapon. The Stitcher can actually out DPS the green shotgun, the Toro, and requires you to hit headshots. I love the Stitcher and I thought it was really good. It may be nerfed a little bit on release. Next, after, if you can afford it, if you can upgrade your Rattler fully, the Rattler is one of the best medium range weapons. It can challenge a Renegade with a stable stock and compensator, acting as a mini SMG with close range after you poke with your Pharaoh. Next, you would rather want to go the Anvil if you have it fully upgraded. After you have the Anvil fully upgraded, the fire rate and the recovery time does turn this thing into a monster. It does do as much damage as a Pharaoh, so it's just simple upgrade. You can use a Anvil and a Rattler, or you can use the Stitcher Anvil. Both very strong combos. You poke with the Anvil, it does as much as a Pharaoh, then push them with the Stitcher. They're both pretty hip fireable as well. This is also one of my favorite combos for when I'm just starting out. You can also replace both these weapons if you would rather go the cheap Osprey Volcano route. So if you want to go the Toro with the Pharaoh, you just have to be careful. Make sure your Pharaoh's upgraded as it's your only medium range weapon, but you can really just poke people, and if they ever try and all in you, you just hold a right hand with the Toro and just kill them. It's kind of a high skill combo. You could use the solo Arpeggio. I've never seen anyone even really use this thing. This thing just gets out DPS by everything. It feels pretty trash. I expect it to be buffed or made a little bit better eventually. Just feels like trash. I don't know why. It just feels terrible whenever you get out DPS by somebody. I don't know what it really makes up for in any other category. I would use this as a solo snowball weapon, really. The Toro Anvil is a classic. It's just a upgraded version of the Pharaoh with the Toro. It's a very big classic. The solo Beretta is kind of fire. I've heard many 0 to hero stories with this thing. Pair it with a Pharaoh, of course, or an Anvil. Finally, moving on to mid-game weapons, the Renegade and the Toro are very strong. The Renegade is a medium long-range weapon, and once it has a fire rate increase, you can really poke out people and one-shot them if you ever get close enough to finish them off with your Toro. It is a semi-automatic Winchester, essentially, so just be careful. He does have a pretty fast re-chamber time, though. The Venenator is the worst weapon in the game, in my opinion. It does fire 2 shots at once, and it's insanely deadly close range, but at medium or long, this thing is terrible, and I don't think I'll ever be using this weapon. In my opinion, the only thing it is good for is recycling for mechanical parts. I would just combo with either a Pharaoh or Anvil, or maybe even Renegade. Or kettle, just any other weapon. Just any other weapon when you're more than 1 feet from somebody. Osprey Stitcher is actually absurdly strong. That is one of my favorite combos, especially if it doesn't have an upgrade. I'm probably going to save most of my Ospreys as it does more than a Pharaoh, but I do love the Osprey Stitcher. It was one of my favorite combos. You snap them from afar, you all in them with the Stitcher. It is bolt action and it scales really well with late game attachments and upgrades. You can also just use a Toro instead. It's the same as the Anvil, but with the Toro, and it has a scope, obviously. Just the same thing. The Torrent, not going to talk about this too much. It's a 1v3 weapon. It is insanely good with higher tier attachments, and it can 1v3 a squad. Wouldn't use it in solos, though, ever. But yeah, this is an insane weapon for squads, if you have the upgrades and the attachments, of course. For late game, the Volcano and the Osprey is a classic combo. you can use this. It's essentially just an upgraded version of the Anvil Pharaoh, or the Toro Pharaoh, sorry. And this is insanely broken, as this is like really good with sliding and hip firing. And obviously the Osprey is just a very good poke tool. It does need upgrades and higher tier attachments to be used consistently though. You could also throw on a Tempest instead with this for medium and longer range in Melt, but these are both very expensive weapons and I don't know why you would bring in both at once. The Bentna, they don't have an icon for it, but it's just a heavy weapon Tempest. It is the best boss killer in the game and is needed for taking out bosses in the Queen. It melts shield and you can use it with the shotgun if you're insecure. It does as much as a wolf pack if you hit the soft spots of an Ark, but it does have really bad durability. My favorite combo, Osprey Bobcat. This is my favorite combo. You can also pair it with a Renegade instead. You poke from afar and then you blow someone's head off with the Bobcat. The Bobcat in trios isn't that bad, as you can secure your 1v1s and really melt people, but you will never be good for 2. It does have the highest time to kill though, lowest time to kill, and it will just melt anybody, but you can't kill more than 1 person. This is definitely the best solo weapon, especially with all stamina upgrades. And I would pair it with a Renegade if you're in a squad. You could use an Osprey too and get away with it. It's just, you kind of want to poke with the Renegade, then push in with the Bobcat and melt them. Again, I have videos on my channel and shorts showing all of that. My shorts, honestly, if you binge them, they're honestly pretty good. My shorts have a lot of information that I don't contain in any of my videos, such as snowball tips and etc. And finally, we can go over attachments. Hopefully this isn't taking too long. But the compensator and the stable stock are S tier attachments. They give you reduced per shot dispersion. So essentially when you shoot your weapon, it reduces the amount of bloom and the amount of moving that you can do. So you can just move longer. So you can move more, and shoot longer without being inaccurate and hit more headshots. The Bobcat with a level 3 extended light mag is probably the most broken thing in the game. It gives you so much ammo and you can just legit kill up to 2 people. Let's go over specific attachments real quick. The highest tier attachments that are the best in order is a compensator, as it gives you per shot dispersion. The thing that's so good about this is that every time you shoot or move, it will just make it so you are more accurate. This is honestly the best attachment in the game, and the level 1 is the best snowball version of it. The durability burn rate will be increased, so be careful if you're using this on a higher tier weapon. The Osprey actually has its own, I can't find it, but there's a modification that gives you 200% ADS speed, and it's made for like the Renegade Osprey specifically. It just turns it so you can quick scope people. It is really good. It is essentially a sniper only attachment, but I can't find it in here. The extended light mag and the Extedium and all of the extended mags are very strong and needed to essentially survive anything, but most of the attachments are pretty self-explanatory. You're going to get more value out of upgrades anyway. It's just early game. Getting these compensators and other attachments is just a must-have. Stable stock and compensator are the ones that I would look out for the most, with extended light mags. They're just the best ones in the game. There's a few niche situations, but hopefully that covers everything about weapons. Now let's get into the best items to actually snowball your wipe. Here is the best material in the game, because you need this to craft level 2 attachments, okay? You want to pick up every single steel spring in the game. This is used for every piece of crafting of attachments. You want to stack like 50 of these. Anything that recycles into steel springs, you want all of these. Do not sell these. You need every steel spring in the game. If you are looking for advanced mechanical components or advanced electrical components, you can get these from bosses. The Rocketeer drops advanced electrical components, and any other boss mob drops advanced mechanical components. You're going to need these for your workbench anyway, so you're better off getting these items within industrial areas, because the bison parts and everything else are going to be needed for your workbenches and more, but they are recyclable in case you need to upgrade your weapons. Another very good thing that you should be looking forward to getting is Ark alloys. Ark alloys are the only way to get metal parts, really, as getting them was nerfed. So make sure you're picking up Ark alloy to recycle into metal. Ark circuitry is used to upgrade blue shields. This may be changed, but you want to be stacking Ark circuitry. You can only find them from probes, and I believe just probes. I don't think I got them from anything else. These energy clips can only be found from the harvester, so if you ever do the harvester, you get it from breaching the little compartments. If you ever want hole cracker ammo, the Bombardier drops hole cracker ammo. It's not actually on the website, but it does drop hole cracker ammo for the rocket launcher. If you are looking for lemons, these are found in night maps usually. and I found them mostly 99% of the time in key rooms, only in key rooms. So if you're looking for lemons, you can find most other nature items on the ground around the map. They're used to upgrade your scrappy and very important. Mod components, medium gun parts, and light gun parts are usually found in red areas of security areas. Raider areas aren't usually marked on the map, but they're like outposts and etc. Kind of found on the outer parts of the dam. Rusted shut medical kit is a S tier item. If you can somehow find it, make sure to save them for your medical station. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting about anything. Syringe for defibs. You need them for Vita shots. Like, there's all high tier craftables. If you do get blue industrial items were needed for a lot of your workbenches, so make sure that you're getting those. Antiseptic, arc circuitry, advanced art cores that you can get from higher tier mobs to get the blue level shields. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think that's everything. If I missed anything, please let me know. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm sorry if I forgot anything, but this is all I can think of off the top of my head. Hopefully this video was beneficial to you. I got guides and more in the description. Please like and subscribe if you want me to succeed. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit for the release tomorrow with a 48-hour stream since you guys hit 500 likes. So if you want to come see that, twitch.tv/BradQuaxton. So enjoy.